there folks, so we have a character that can move left and right, but now what I want to do is give them the ability to jump up and down in our world. Now we're going to follow all the basic steps that we've already done so far, and lots of this should be intuitive if you're already familiar with things like enhanced input. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the process and just talk you through that. So we're going to go to inputs, and just like we created an input action for move right, I'm going to create a new input action, and this one's going to be IA underscore, and we'll go with jump. Now this one, I don't need to have any other kind of value type for this. There's not kind of a varying degree of jump that goes from 0 to 1. It's a digital ball. It is a Boolean value that either says, am I pressing this key down? Yes or no. If I press the key down, we jump. And when I'm not pressing it down, it doesn't do anything. So with that done, what we can now do is go into our input mapping context. And you can see we've got mappings. I have move right, and if I go to the circle with the plus to add another mapping in, you see it does have this thing where it expands them all out, but you might need to just minimize them. But at the bottom we now have one that's empty called none. So let's go and assign our jump to that one. As we've done previously, I could go and type in, so I could type in something like spacebar, or I could listen and I could press that key in order to make this happen. Now, a couple of things that we're going to do with the triggers. Right now, this is going to be set to be on down, which means it's going to keep on firing as long as we're pressing the key down. I'm going to set it just for now with this trigger that just says pressed, just so that when I press the key, and I might need to just minimize again, when I press the key, it only fires it once and it doesn't fire it again until I've released it. Now we'll come back into this later. We'll talk about the different types of jumps and functionalities that we can do with this, how we can get it so that there's bigger jumps, like a Mario style jump, where the longer you press the key down, the more it jumps. But for now, let's just set it to pressed, and I'm going to now go over to my ZD character base, where I've got my move right, and this time what I'm going to do, I might just put a comment box around this one for move right, and underneath that I'm now going to create a new enhanced input event, and you'll see that we have an option now for jump. So this jump key, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say on triggered, what should we do? Well, because we're using a character, in the character movement component it has functionality for jump, so we can put jump in there, and I am going to put in stop jumping. Now I know that I don't really need to do the stop jumping if I'm just doing pressed, but in the future we're going to come back in and do that kind of Mario style Metroidvania jump where we can jump further and longer. So I'm just going to say cancelled and completed. That stops it jumping. So if I do ever release the key, it just tells it to stop feeding it jump information. Now right now that's actually just going to be all we need, because we've set up the input action, we've told it what key to use, so our controller's already using this and already knows about the input mapping context. We've set up the event, which is in that mapping context, and told it to jump. So if I come into here and press the spacebar, now you can see my character can jump. There we go. So with that done, now what we're going to do is we're going to start having a look at how we can get some jump animations actually onto our character. So rather than just doing the walking animation or no animation, we're going to look at saying, well, if you're jumping, play a jump animation, go up and then come down, land, and then potentially go back into your idle or walking. Thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider subscribing to access more of my Unreal Engine content.